Okay. Well, it takes a little while.
I've not used this. This is Google's Zoom
Yeah,
thing, eh?
Google. Yeah.
Oh,
Why are you not recording? Sorry about this.
that's
Normally it
okay.
takes like a few seconds, but
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not doing it. Perfect.
It's Monday
So
morning, that's why.
that's
Okay.
why. Okay, perfect. Let's fire away. Okay, as you know, welcome Tony. As you know, my podcast is called Naughty Bites. What's your guilt-free sweet or savory snack that you find yourself tiptoeing into the kitchen for?
Oh gosh. It could be either. So if I have rasmalai or rasgulla in the fridge,
Okay.
that's it. Definitely they're down. I can't. They have to be finished probably the day after we've made them, because you need that day for all the flavours to meld together and then chill properly. And the rasgulla will warm up anyway, a cup of tea. So that's my sweet one. Savoury, I would always come down for some nice cheese and a glass of port.
Ooh, I like that. I have to say, Indian sweets for me are like I get high on sugar because
Oh,
when you
honest,
said rasmalai, I was like, oh my god.
it's a rush. It's great. That's why I was like, well, if you're at a function or celebrating, you're always dancing. You need the energy. That's my thought process. That's why they did it. So it's
For
pure
all the
energy.
dancing, for all the dancing, for sure. So let's take a step back. You studied food at culinary school at the age of 16.
Yeah.
But what was the significant turning point for you to go, that's what I wanted to do? I want to become a chef. I want to study food.
I think it's always been with me. Being in a Punjabi household, everybody cooks. Everybody's got an opinion on
Okay.
food. We're up in the morning talking about lunch for dinner. Dad cook, working, big family, you always help out in the kitchen. But I think one of the things that really always drew me to food was in the Sikh faith, one of the cornerstones is langar, communal kitchen, giving free food to people. So we went to the Gurdwara, the Sikh place of worship, and we'd help as children peeling garlic, tomatoes, carrot,
Okay.
anything. And you always knew it brought people together. It was always a happy place, and everyone was happy. It was about making everybody feel comfortable, equality, and everything. I said, well, this is what food does. So I've always been on food. And then when I knew you could actually get paid for being a chef, I went, that's for me.
That's the as soon as you said when you talk about when you have a lunch, you think about dinner. When you have dinner, you think about snack. And after snack, it's
Yes,
breakfast.
it's
It's the
breakfast,
same
yeah,
in my house.
honestly. But I think this is it. And it's quite sad when you see people and they talk about food as fuel. Okay, totally, it is. We're very lucky to be in a position where food is fashion, food is a
Yeah,
hobby. When you look at the world, food people are still starving, which is outrageous in this 21st century. You know what I mean? There's enough
yeah,
food for everybody. So it's hard,
definitely.
especially in the industry where food is fashion, food is expensive, food is a status
Yeah,
symbol. So I need to temper that with what we do and what we try to put back with charity work and everything like that. But food should never just be fuel.
no, definitely. It's enjoyment.
It's enjoyment. It should feed the brain, and even if that's your 10 minutes to think, sit and think, it should be that because people are getting less time to even think, and you're just running about. So it helps. I think with mental
Definitely.
health, if you've just got even 5 minutes by yourself, it's nice sharing it with somebody. But if you can have a cup of tea by
Yeah,
yourself, or a wee sandwich, or a soup, or something, it's awesome.
definitely. Like one thing I know about living here is that on a Sunday, food is family day. All the shops are shut.
Yeah,
People wake up late and then we'll have lunch from 1 o'clock till about 5, 6 o'clock. There's no phones,
amazing.
there's nothing. And I'm like, this is why I'm putting on weight because it's becoming a long family affair. And it's like, but I do like that because it's kind of continued, even with the younger generation today, that,
Uh,
Sunday is food.
well, I thought what you call this would carry on from the lockdown. We were having more people cooking, we have
Yeah,
more people sitting down, family time. We've got back into our
yeah,
routine. And I
definitely.
think it's so easy to fall into bad habits. Everybody's just rushing about and you're grabbing a snack on the go. And we are all under time pressure, and
Yeah,
that time pressure knocks on, can we actually have time to make food and everything like that? So one of the things that we'll always try to do is get cooking back into the curriculum. I think we
yeah.
need to do that because if the kids push the parents will change.
I think so. I absolutely think so. And I think as well, like going to school in the UK, I remember my school dinners were such things as pie, egg morney,
Yeah.
stew, that sort of stuff. And now when I look
Egg
back, I'm
morning.
like,
That's a posh school. We like that.
it was amazing. I was like, I'm having that for my lunch today. But
Yeah.
when it was on the menu, I love it. But we had like, vegetable station, your cooked foods, your snacks, but desserts were amazing. Like everything was chocolate with custard. Can't go
Oh
wrong with
yeah.
custard.
Custard
British
works.
desserts
Yeah.
are the best.
Yeah.
Chocolate or
Custard
normal.
and anything. I like a rich, heavy pudding, like spotted dick or jam roly
That's
poly or
my
something.
favorite.
Yeah.
But I think the UK is amazing for hot desserts. It's
Yeah.
like one of the best places for like crumbles, pies, and
That's that rib sticking things to keep you
it's
warm.
true. Even in the summer, I have it. It's all good.
Yeah.
So you've worked from. So you've gone from working into the Royal Scotsman's to Martin's. You've earned prestigious awards from the gold medalist chef in the Highlands and the ITV Chef of the Year many
Uh-huh.
years ago. What's been the highlight of your career so far?
I I would have to say opening in Oloroso, which was that came about. We won. So when we were at college, Stafford College, YTS, we had fantastic lecturers that put us into competitions like Salon Culinaire, Junior Chef of the Year, things like that. So we had that competitive edge, wanted to compete, which was great. And then we've done competitions, went through. After Martin's, I was poached to open the Royal York Britannia. I was the first civilian chef there, so we changed it from being in the service of Her Majesty to being a visitor attraction for private events. So while I was there, there was an ITV Chef of the Year. So it was 1999 for the Chef of the Millennium 2000. So it was the first professional chef's competition on television.
Wow.
So I got through to the finals, and I was up against people that trained me, these amazing chefs that looked up to, and I won. So it's like, wow, like oof, amazing.
What was your signature dish on that finals?
Well, I loved the competition because it wasn't a signature dish. It was you had a mystery basket, so everybody had the same choice of ingredients,
Okay.
and they came up with so many different things. So it was fabulous. So I done a clump of lamb. We made a salsa. We made an aubergine. It was like a parfait, but we toned down the spices. It was great.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so it was really
amazing.
nice, and it was phenomenal. But for that was the stepping stone. I think I went, oh wow, that's me. I've won this. I'm on telly. I'm going to be the next Jamie Oliver. Right. So I went to London. Well, I went back to the Royal Yacht and I said, I've won this award. What can we do? And they said, well, you can have a couple of extra weeks off unpaid leave. And I went, no. So I handed him a notice, off to London, stick, checkered handkerchief and all that, and went and spoke to a few agents. And they said, oh, yeah, you should be able to get work, but you need to take elocution lessons. So this is
Really?
back in the day. This is back before regional accents were trendy. And I went, I don't think so. So I'd left my job
Oh,
back
God.
up in Edinburgh, and then we had some investors, people that have great friends and customers we'd met through Martin's and everything. And my partner, this part of the time, James came to me, James Sankey, and he came to me and said, look, I'll open a bar, you want to open a restaurant, let's combine forces. And we opened Oloroso. So it was an
Oh,
iconic
wow.
restaurant in Edinburgh, rooftop, I think it was the second rooftop restaurant there. And even till this day, we've got people saying, oh, it's amazing time, we should open it again, blah, blah. It was just great. I
That's
mean,
amazing.
it was amazing. And that was before we were 30. It was awesome.
Oh my
For 30
goodness.
that year.
Well done you, but that's been a highlight. But what's been one of the most challenging parts of your career to date?
Every morning.
Isn't that for everybody?
Yeah, I think it's different. The challenges have changed. I think now for everybody in the industry, the human resource, your staff, that
Mm,
everybody used to talk about, all the good employers knew that their staff were their asset. And now you're finding that the good guys have kept their staff, everybody else has lost their staff. And I think
wow.
that's the problem. I think the biggest challenge would have been opening the restaurant. It was a year without any salary. We were coming together. This is without Founding Circle and all these platforms that we have now. No social media. Me and James, we've got 22 investors together.
Wow.
It was hard work. We were up against blue chip companies from London. I wanted the site, and the landlord chose us because we wanted an independent, and we got it.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. But yeah, no, I think running a restaurant is one of the most stressful careers of just everything. Like
Oh,
but you've done it. Like you've done it. Like when I've been reading up the stuff about yourself, I'm like,
yeah.
oh my goodness, you're opening another restaurant, which actually leads me on to you've just opened another sort of restaurant called, I
Mm-hmm.
think I pronounced it correctly, Raj Chat.
Raj
Raj
Chat.
Raj Chat. Okay,
Raj Chat.
because you will laugh at me because my family laugh at me for English-fying Indian words. So I
Yep.
sent a voice message to my family. I went, like, guys, you know how I sound? How do you pronounce it? So my sister will message me back and was like, Anisha, you pronounce it Ragarachat. And I was like,
No.
are you sure? And I was like, I said Racha. I will
You
tell her
It's not
this.
Ragara chat, which okay, Ragara means to grind the rub, right?
Yeah.
So Raj is it's a slang term in relief for being a gandu basically, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So being a bit mischievous, a bit mad, prone to violence.
That's you. You're mischievous.
Well, which part? So it was a play on words. So when you say it, when we do in the show, we say Raj chat, so people think of the Raj,
Right. Got you.
right? So but it's Raj, yeah. So the
Yeah.
chat there, and then chat. Obviously, you want all the chat. We've got a bit of banter going on there, so it's always good.
It's
So
a
yeah,
good play on word, I have to say,
totally.
because so you set this up with your brother Lucky.
Yep.
For those of for those of you that don't know, well, my listeners, about Raj Chat, can you explain more about it?
So Raj Chat is I've been doing pop ups since we sold all the Rosso. I love it, and it's
Mm.
got traction, and people are doing it. And over the last few years, you've got last quite a few years, you've got things like Carb, you've got Baramak, all these amazing street food venues all over the country. In Scotland, it's there. The weather's not that great, but we're there. We've got a great community. So open Rajshat. I love Indian street. I love street food full stop around the world. It's fresh. It's vibrant. It's simple, but so much flavour, and it
Yeah.
talks to you about the people. And then when we opened it first, we opened it in a shipping container, and as a business, we were approached by delivery companies and that, and I didn't want to do deliveries because we just didn't do it because it has to be fresh.
Yeah,
If you want
definitely.
good food, get off your bum, come and get good food.
I believe in that. I believe in that.
Totally, man. Somebody paid the hard time to make it. They're sitting there in the cold and that. You get off your bum and get it. Because if you
Mm.
get it delivered, it's not got that it's not got that vibrancy.
Yeah.
So we've opened it up in the Bonnie and Wild, which is in St James's Quarter. And the whole thing with Jart is it's lip smacking, it's fresh, it's vibrant, it's punchy, it's got all the different textures, crunchy, soft, it's got sweet, sour, spicy, chapata, it's all these things
Oh,
going on. And this is what you try to tell people. So this is all plant-based though. I don't like saying vegan, don't like vegetarian because they're all having a fight together. They're all throwing carrots at each other. Just this underground battle going on. You know what I
I
mean?
just
So
got
I'm
this
I'm
image of.
happy with everybody. Yeah. So I'm happy but it is all plant based,
Okay.
and I challenge people. So if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
Okay.
Standard, then you finish it, give it to me, and touch wood. Nobody's got
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
because it's good food. No chef in the world goes out to make bad food, but
No,
you
but it's
can't cater
true.
for everybody's taste. So it's still personal taste, but this is fresh. It's punchy. It's so good.
Yeah, because I think as well, like the one thing I hate is when you have food delivered and you have something like a samosa or pakoras or
Ah,
like even pani puri, and I hate that
fine.
when you get it, the pay like the body is so like soft. It has to be crisp, and then you dollop
But
it
this
with
is it.
chana.
So people are. So we've been doing pani puri. People love it. Golgappe, right? But and they say, oh, why is that? I said, you can't. You have to come and eat it. And we've got
Yeah.
regulars coming back to the Bonnie and Wild. So we're just thinking of a way of serving it again that's less labour intensive for us, and guests will get the thing. So we're looking at doing a big
Oh,
Thali golgappe, the masala and the chana and there and the pani there. So they just help themselves. We'll just go through what it is,
oh,
and I
I'd
think that's
love
what we'll
that.
do. Yeah.
I love Thali because my husband has a pure weakness for Thali. And when he was in Nepal, he was literally having Thali every day. So when he came
Aye.
back, he went, so if you have the time, and I was like, no,
No,
it's so labor. I was like, no. If
no,
you will
but
not,
why don't you make it for me?
yeah, that's exactly what I said. So I was like,
Yeah,
I'm not doing it. But he loved Thali and that. And
yeah,
although he loves the, and it's true, like myself, I love pickle, but I
yeah.
love fresh pickle. Like, ones with like a jar, like like carrots with the chili and like something that's
Well,
more texture.
this is what I try to explain to people. So when you look at Indian cuisine. So you've got a jar which is lactic fermentation, which is longer. So you've got gajar, you've got ginger and everything, keep for months,
Yeah.
or you've got like pickled onions or the gajra way thingy, or mint and coriander. I said we call that a chutney and that a
Yeah.
jar. And
Yeah.
we're in the West, a chutney is something that you preserve, and a
Yeah.
jar for us is something you preserve. A chutney is fresh, it's
Yeah.
vibrant. You call it like
Yeah.
a salsa. That's it. And see, that's the difference. You think that in your head,
Yeah.
which is cool. So that's what we're looking to do.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to go to like Scotland and eat. That's all I want to do is eat these days. So
Aye.
you were talking about local fresh ingredients. So now in the restaurant world, using sustainable ingredients, local ingredients, supporting local suppliers has become super fashionable, but also because it's raised awareness of what's happening now in terms of food wastage. You mentioned before, there's so much hunger, even though we're in the 21st century, a lot of food is wasted, and billions is spent on disposing food waste in hospitality. I don't understand it.
It's a crime, and I think going back to it's on trend, it's buzzwords, but good restaurants have always been social and local. They've always tried to support locally and everything like that. But that doesn't mean not to support the Kenyan farmer that we've made their economy on fine beans. We wanted it, so we can't just cut them out.
Yeah,
we still, I look at, and you have to look at where there's no mango trees in Scotland, right? I want good mangoes, so I'm not going to have a substitute, but I want to buy food where it does good.
Yeah,
so you still need to look at your producers that they do good for where we're getting it from.
Definitely.
Come back to spices, chocolate, bananas, anything like that. I still have to do good. And this thing of, if you can buy local, that's great, but not everybody can. It just has to be good. You know what I mean? If you can get with suppliers that have an ethical philosophy, that's the way to look at it, because it's hard to get the ingredients that we want, like a local. Like, definitely. But spices and everything like that, we still try to see who does good, what kind of reputation they have, and that's what we go after.
And have you applied that throughout all of your restaurants?
Well, we have where we could. Where we could. And I think it's price points the hardest thing. I think people, especially with the cost of living thing, people have to understand good food, fresh food costs money.
Yeah. No, it's true. And if you want it,
if you want it, that's it. And that's the difference between, oh, it's okay, oh, wow, that was great. Because we're not reinventing the wheel. Starts have been around forever. Definitely. I'm not saying I invented it. I'm just lucky enough to be off that heritage of tasting the real deal. And this is what you want people to taste.
No, it's true. It's true. Like, I think one of the things for me is like living here. You know, in the UK, I was really fortunate in the UK, you have everything you want in a supermarket, like everything international, groceries, you name it, you have it.
Yeah.
One of the things, although I love living here in Spain, I miss Indian vegetables because there is nothing. Unfortunately, there is nothing I can buy that's Indian vegetables. And I love aubergine, but I'm sick and tired of having one type of aubergine, the massive purple one.
The big one,
yeah.
You want small ones.
I want the small ones so I can stuff them and I'm so excited. Like, I love aubergines. But the one thing I do love here and I do rate is like in the supermarket, you just get your necessities. If you want your vegetables or your fish or your meat, you go to the greengrocer, you go to the fishmonger.
Again. Yeah.
And I like how everything is local. So, my garlic scapes or my spinach will be seasonal. So I get it twice a year and that is it. And then I've got to wait again. And that's what makes you pay a little bit more, but it makes me look forward to having something seasonal because it's the tastiest in that time as opposed to having it all year round.
And it comes back to less food miles, better for the environment, everything that we want and we know.
Yeah.
People still want strawberries in December.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
And the thing is, the season, because the growing things, like we had fantastic strawberries. Scottish strawberries are the best in the season. Between May and end of July, just phenomenal. But last year, like even up to just beginning of September, they were stunning because they've got the polytunnels down at that, and it's lovely. I do love them.
So, what's your what's your favorite seasonal produce you use from Scotland in your dishes?
I would say it has to be coming up for autumn, wild mushrooms. Love the wild mushrooms and the Scottish rolls. The chanterelles, the best. I love them.
Oh, because you got the weather as well, like the
Yeah,
like
yeah, wet.
damp, wet,
Yes, wet.
damp,
Uh,
wet weather.
yeah, which is fantastic. You always get there's a positive every cloud a silver lining.
There is, there is. So, food aside, I have to ask you. Um, you are famous for wearing your kilts
Yes.
in all of your functions. Vivienne Westwood is the only designer that's put kilts on the map. As a designer, not many people
Mhm.
use tartan. Would you ever ask her to design a kilt for you?
I once when we opened Oloroso, so this is in 2021. I was at a charity function and there was a Vivienne Westwood original kilt up for grabs because
Did
they
you?
just opened Harvey Nichols, right? So I'm sitting there, all my money, not got 2 pence to rub together. We're up to our eyes in debt. I went, oh, I'm going to have to get that. I don't know if it was 50 bits. I want the kilt, want the kilt. I didn't put it, and then oh my god, and it was like there was nobody left. It was like I went, oh my god, oh my god. Hopefully, bid that. It was Sir Tom Farmer that was bidding against me, so it was just two of us left. I went, please bid again. It was like £8,000. I said, please bid against me, and he bid again. I went, oh. So
Oh
I
my
missed
god,
out.
you missed out.
But I've got a better one than I love Vivienne Westwood stuff. But have you heard of a designer called Gilly Blackwood?
Yes.
So she's made my kilt.
She's made your
Honestly,
kilt.
yeah, Vivian's very good, but Jelly, her kilt is in the V&A for the Millennium Kilt, and she's made mine.
I'm gonna Google that.
Yeah,
So you're famous for your awesome banter with Cyrus.
yeah.
You did the TV series The Spice Men.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever consider doing another one with him?
Ooh, serendipity. There might be something happening. I can't tell you, but it'd be great. Honestly, it's been 10 years since we've done the show.
Yeah,
We loved it, and
because
we were very surprised it never got picked up because, touch wood, the feedback that we got, it was fantastic. But it might be getting resurrected again, so we'll see what
I
happens.
hope so. Because both of you introduced spices, well, the use of spices to dishes people are comfortable making, for example, hot pots and stuff. So you you brought fusion to comfortable dishes.
Yeah.
Would you do that again? Like,
Oh,
how did
definitely.
it
I
feel?
think, well, when we've done the original Spice Men, I thought, yeah, okay, we've done the UK, we've done not. It's like they say, oh, we've done the UK, we've not. We've done parts of the UK. We could have done another 8 shows just in the UK, right? But then, imagine going to France and
Can I
messing
come?
with
I
their
speak
cuisine.
French.
Yeah. I mean, but you're in Spain, eh? Nobody messes with cuisine. Nobody messes with French. Or everybody's really proud, but going and doing it, and we know some of the dishes. Food, even like Cooking with the Stars, we've done. Oh, that's not been shown yet. When's this going out?
Oh,
So I could talk about it anyway. So we've
and
done.
we'll talk about it in a moment.
Yeah, so we've got cockle Saint Jacques Parisienne, right? It was a traditional scallop dish with mashed potatoes, but we've done it with a South Indian sauce, coconut, curry leaves, and everything.
Oh,
So honestly, we'd have loved to have went around Europe and just seen the reactions. I'd have been just worth it for the comedic value alone.
definitely, because I love watching the film called The Chef
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Jean Favreau. So I was
yeah,
hoping I could ask you and Cyrus, can I be the little boy or the girl in the
yeah.
background, like recording this? Because the comedy between the two of you, like it's eclectic. Your relationship is like two mischievous brothers, like
Well,
having a
that's
really
it.
good
Well, this is
time.
it, and we've had such a great time, such a great time.
Well, I can't wait to hear about more about this. So after doing more research about you, you've got the supper club,
Yeah.
and it's the hottest ticket in town. Like the reviews I read about this, is like everybody wants in. In your 10-course meal,
Mhm.
what's one of your favorite dishes that you like preparing for them?
Well, what's got so the menus change seasonally because we've got 12 people. Our suppliers know if they've just caught say one really nice wild sea bass, they can give it to us. It's gone, right? So we change our menu all the time. There's two things that'll stay the same. The canapé stay the same, and the signature dish was my Punjabi salmon, which is my grand's recipe.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
two things that stay the same all the way
And
through.
is there a reason why you did a 10-course meal? Like, how do you manage to make sure that they don't roll home?
Well, they might. You know what I mean? What happens is some stays at Club Supper Club, but it's well balanced. The hardest thing is there's a couple of courses that you'd like to give them bread so they can mop it up, but you can lick the plates there. It's not a problem. We don't care. So we try to cut back on the carbs, and we just let the ingredients be. And the course, there's nothing worse than going to a fine restaurant and if you're doing the best mouthful ever, and you go home and you're hungry, so they fail. Right. So
Definitely.
my philosophy is somebody's come to you for dinner, so they need fed. So that's
Mm.
your main thing. You need to feed them so they're not hungry. Sate their appetite. Right. So whether that be one course or 50 courses, but if you've done all your courses and they're still hungry, you've not done your job properly.
That's true. That's true. Because I remember years ago, I went to a Michelin restaurant and we had this taster menu, and we had about 7 courses. But then I was like, Carlos, I can't walk home because my stomach was just exploding.
Busting eye.
It was, and then I asked for chamomile tea to help the digestion.
Yeah.
They ended up giving tapas, like dessert tapas, and I was like, I'm gonna pop. I'm literally gonna pop. It took me an hour to walk home as opposed to like 10 minutes because
Yeah, just
I physically couldn't move. I just felt everything moving in my body. But that's
no.
how, for me, food should be indulgent and
Yeah.
you don't want to eat the following day. Well,
No.
you know.
But it's that fine balance, and then you still comes back to people's personal size. And the thing is, you're at your friend's house and you're having dinner, so you can leave stuff.
Yeah.
You don't need to drink all the wine. You just say, look, I want a smaller portion. That's not a problem. We'll do it. You're in the kitchen with us. You're talking to us.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I'm so excited. So, you're currently on ITV's Cooking with the Stars.
Yes.
You are paired with Josie Gibson,
Yep.
and you're mentoring her as well.
Yeah.
Is it nerve-wracking knowing that when you're doing the blind tasting, you could be voting Josie off the show? What's that feeling like?
Well, Josie, best pairing out of everybody. Her energy is fantastic, but her palate is phenomenal.
Wow.
Her palate is spot on, and I've realised that I'll know Josie's food because she seasons perfectly.
Oh, that's really good.
Right, so she seasons perfectly.
So is there any gossip you can tell us? Backstage
No,
gossip?
nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Goodness.
What happens in the green room stays in the green room.
Oh, so it's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas, yeah.
It stays in Vegas. So I've heard through the grapevine you've like dabbled into the drinks market. So you're pairing like coriander and lemon with like beer and IPAs.
Yeah, we've got citrus.
You got citrus bit, right? So everyone knows a drink should never overpower the dish. How have you concocted these mixtures with IPA and beer?
But what's the thing is, we worked with a fantastic brewing company, Fierce Brewing, up in Aberdeen, and their head brewer, awesome guy. And I told him what we wanted, and we looked at it, and we were talking about different hops. So I hate hoppy beer.
Yeah. I
like a nice clean pilsner. I like a nice stout. Hoppy, no. But he said, oh, you've got different citrus. I went, oh, citrus. And he went, yeah. So citrus, coriander, that citrus notes. I went, oh, lovely. I like when I'm looking at wines and everything, I like the aroma. So we were thinking cardamom, queen of spices, all those perfumed scents that come from cardamom. So we went along those lines, and yeah, good. He done it. We gave him what we wanted.
So will you be doing any more flavors?
Well, we might be, but I'm looking at something else on the spirit market that'll be coming out that's quite interesting.
Can you tell me more about this?
Well, one might be whiskey. It's going to be whiskey.
I love whiskey.
And one's going to be a traditional Indian alcohol.
Right, it's a dun dun dun. You can't tell me more.
Yeah, that'll be cool. And it's got a bad name at the moment, but we've got to do it, refine it, make it fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing. Because when I read that you had coriander and cardamom in your beers, I love those two flavors, but I don't know if it's for most South Asians, I hate, when you're cooking at home and your grandmother or your uncle, you ended up getting the whole seed in your mouth. Because for me, cardamom like...
Oh, but cardamom is so perfumed, it just spoils your palate.
It
but
does.
Then but that's what explains people. That's why we eat with our hands. We always find the seeds.
And you try and pick them out.
Pick them out, of course. You're looking at it, and it's fine. And you know what? It's just one of those things.
But I think it's the perfect balance, and I'm looking forward to trying them because it's so difficult to find balanced yet smooth flavors that are strong, but
Mhm.
goes well with something that's quite mellow. So I'm looking
Mhm.
forward to,
Well, what's that?
trying that.
One of the things I was taught about, well, when I look at wines, you'll never get a drink that'll perfectly match your food unless
No.
you actually make a cocktail that will be specific notes or
Yeah.
flavours or bitterness and everything. When you're buying wine, it's either to be a counterpoint or sometimes that brings the flavours along. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
I think people want to actually find something that's like, oh, okay, match perfectly, and it's personal taste again.
Again, definitely. Because I think for
Mm.
me, it's really hard to find drinks that match Indian food because
Uh-huh.
Asian food in general is very flavoursome. There's loads going
Mm.
on, which is why I prefer to have my drink after my meal. So then
Uh-huh.
it complements it well because, something like a pisco sour or
A pisco
something.
sour. Well, I like a pisco sour. I
Yeah.
like a Libra. Nice. I can have that. I can. You know what? If I'm pushed, that's where I'm problem. I can have that all the way through the meal.
Definitely. It can happen. It can happen. But
Yeah.
anyway, Tony, I know your time is short, but I just want to thank you so much for joining me on Naughty Bites.
No, thank you for having me on.
It's been an absolute pleasure, like getting to know you a little bit. It's been amazing. So for those of you that want to know more about Tony's journey, please follow him on MCT Singh on Instagram. Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Stay
Excellent.
wide. Okay, let me stop recording.